Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we will be updating an existing record in a database table. When working with databases of various kinds, you will often get a request to update some records already present within the database. You will need to use the SQL update command to perform the update. So let's head over to our SQL Server Management Studio and make a connection to the SQL Server. I have connected to my SQL Server via the Management Console. So this is the SQL Server Management Studio, this tool here, and I've made a connection to my database. The database we will be using for this lecture will be the AdventureWorks 2014 database. So this is a list of databases, and the one we'll be using is the AdventureWorks 2014. So click on the new query window, this one here. This is where we will write the query to update a record. So the schema that we will use is the human resources schema, and the table will be the department table. Before you perform any update on a database, it's always a good idea to see the current data within the database. So let's select the AdventureWorks from the database drop-down list, and then let's do a quick select statement to show what data is currently in the department table. So let's do that by writing a select star. Star means bring back all the columns and rows from human resources schema and then department table. So this is just a basic query that will bring all the data out. So let me execute that. So this is all the data currently in the department table. There are 17 rows of records in this table. So we are going to use the update command to make a change of one of the records. So let's look through the records. So I'm going to the record here. This way it's got apples, which is record 17. I'm going to make a change. We're going to change the name from apples to grapes. That's the change we're going to make. Now that we have identified the record we want to make a change to, we're going to update this name here, change it from apples to grapes. There is a tip you can use to give you a guide as to how you would write your T-SQL query. So where it's got human resources and departments, right click on that and go to script table as, and then select update and then new query editor window. What this does, it gives you a guide of the structure on how you should write your query. So it begins with the use. This use basically specifies the database you want to use if it's not selected in the database drop-down window. The go is just a signal to proceed. The main query is from line 4 to line 8. So on line 4 here, you begin with the key command, which is update. So this is a key here. It tells the SQL Server that you're trying to perform an update operation. So you begin with the word update, followed by the schema and table name. You don't always have to specify the schema here if you specified it in the from clause. But if you haven't specified it in the from clause, then you need to specify it. So you update, you specify the schema and the table. Then this word is important, set. So this is where you're going to make the change. So you're saying, what do you want to change? So I want to change the name column, the name field here. And I want it to equals to this new name. This refers to the schema, and this refers to the new name you want to give it. So we're not going to focus on this other column because we are not touching this column. The column we are touching will be the name column, which is this one here. So this is where the apples are, the apple name is. So this is where we want to make the change. So let's go ahead and write the query properly. To save a bit of time, I've completed the script here. So this is the script I will need to update the records. So what I'm changing is this field here, this name where it's got apples. I'm changing this to grapes. Okay, so notice it's got apples here. I'm going to change it to grapes. So it's very important you structure your queries in the way I've specified. So you start with the update command and you specify the schema and then the table. This is where you're going to perform the update on. And then on line 5, you have to specify the new value you want to update to. You do that using the set keyword followed by the name of the column. In this case, the name of the column is called name, and the value I want to give that is grapes. Remember that with text or strings, you need to enclose them in quotes. So the values of text or strings must be enclosed in quotes. Line 6 is very, very important because it doesn't matter if you're updating one record or 1,000 records, the process is the same. Line 6 is very important. The where clause sets a condition or a filter that must apply, because if you omit the where clause, it might update all the records in your database table. So the where clause is very important because it acts as a filter to prevent other records being updated. So I've said I want to set the column name to grapes, but not all the columns, only where the name is equals to apples. All right, so let's execute that. Execute, say one row affected. So it successfully updated it. So let's just check and see. So this is a query we need to check all the records from this table. I go execute. So if I scroll down, the name is changed from apples to grapes. So this is how you would update the records from a database. The process is the same, whether you're updating one record or you're updating 1,000 records. Thank you so much for your time. In this lecture, we learned how to update existing records in a database table using the update command in combination with the set keyword to update records in the table. Thank you for your time. As usual, please let me know if you have any questions whatsoever.